Welcome to Star City Sports. I'm Devin Cleach.
And I'm Michael Shively. We have breaking news into Star City Sports within the last half an hour. It's being reported by Real GM that Nebraska basketball player Terran Pettaway has declared for the NBA draft.
The junior forward has been weighing the option of returning to Nebraska for his senior season or going to the NBA. The official announcement is expected to be after the Final Four.
It's already been a rough week for the Nebraska basketball team, with Walter Pitchford deciding to go to the NBA and Terrence Smith transferring. Terran Pettaway was the leading scorer the past 2 seasons for the Huskers and was always in contention for Big Ten honors. The league he's likely to end up in, the NBA, is having their regular season heat up with a race for the playoffs, meaning that the debate over the league's MVP is also a hot topic.
Golden State Warriors guard Stephen Curry is lighting up scoreboards and breaking ankles. Across the league, mainly Chris Paul's like the other night. Curry is averaging 24 points per game and shooting 43% from three-point land, which is top 5 percentage in the league.
Rockets guard James Harden is making a late season push for the award after scoring a career-high 51 points last night against the Kings. Harden and his beard are averaging nearly 28 points a game, which is tied for the league lead.
Also tied with Harden for the points title is Thunder guard Russell Westbrook. Westbrook has single-handed brought Oklahoma City back into the playoff contention after averaging nearly a triple-double in the last month.
Then there's the man that seems to always be in contention for MVP talks, 4-time winner LeBron James. LeBron had a rough start to the year dealing with new teammates in Cleveland, but he is still the most consistent player in the league, averaging nearly 27 points and 7 assists per game. There's some important NBA games tonight that feature these players, and you can watch those stars show off their moves. Cleveland hosts LeBron's former team, the Miami Heat. The Rockets play the in-state rival Dallas Mavericks, and the Warriors host the Suns.
College basketball's Final Four is one of America's favorite weekends in sports. The NCAA tournament semifinal games begin Saturday in Indianapolis, with the 1-seed Duke Blue Devils taking on the 7-seed Michigan State Spartans. That game is followed by 2 other 1-seeds, the Kentucky Wildcats and the Wisconsin Badgers, facing off for a chance at a national title on Monday night. Kentucky looks to become the 9th team in NCAA history to go undefeated and win a national championship. For more on the Final Four, let's send it to Amsley Sinkbile in the Roundtable.
Hi, I'm Amsley Sinkbile, and welcome to the Roundtable. We'll have informed opinions, and things may get a bit heated as I'm joined by John Kipper and Dustin Hoffman. Good evening, guys.
How's it going?
Pretty good. So, as Devin and Michael just talked about, the Final Four starts Saturday. Hands down, the biggest story is Kentucky. The last team to go undefeated in college basketball was the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers. This year, the Wildcats are threatening as they stand at 38-0. John, do you think that Kentucky can go the distance?
Oh, Amsley, I absolutely do. 38-0 is a very tough thing to do. Kentucky was able to do it. This team has all sorts of size, easily the biggest team in the Final Four. They got challenged a little bit last week against Notre Dame. Notre Dame took them down to the wire, but John Calipari's team ended up coming up on top, and I think they're better than Wisconsin. I think they're also better than Duke and Michigan State. I think they are going to take it.
Okay, so Devin, we heard from John, but I mean, Kentucky doesn't have it easy. They're going to get challenged.
Yeah, all these teams are here for a reason in the Final Four, and they're all blue blood programs. Like, Michigan State with Tom Izzo, and you can never count them out, but they're a bad matchup for Kentucky, so I don't think if they get there that they'd really stand much of a chance. So that leaves Duke and Wisconsin. You have Duke, traditional, but I think Wisconsin matches up best with Kentucky, and they have Kaminsky and Decker, and if those two are on, and Decker's shooting from 3 like he did against Arizona, they should easily win that game.
All right, thanks, guys. That was some pretty good stuff. It should be an intense weekend, but we will be back a little bit later talking about Major League Baseball. Now, back to Devin and Michael.
Thanks for those insights, guys. Devin, I have Kentucky winning my bracket, but I'm not going to cheer for them.
Yeah, I have Wisconsin in mind because I'm thinking an all Big Ten final with Wisconsin and Michigan State.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. That'll be a lot of fun, but it's going to be fun either way. It was an exciting day today at the state capitol too. There's some bills on the floor of the legislature. We're going to go live to Kelsey Murphy with a news update.
Today, the Nebraska legislature passed the Good Samaritan bill unanimously. It's a bill that could save your life. It protects individual minors who need medical attention. The bill takes away the fear of legal trouble and encourages minors to make the emergency calls. The next step is for Governor Pete Ricketts to sign off and make it a law. A Lincoln professional trained to help others with their problems is now facing one of his own. Jason Christensen, an employee of Counseling Affiliates of Nebraska, is being charged with felony and theft deception. The company contacted Lincoln Police early March.
The owner discovered that one of the counselors, Jason Christensen, had been overbilling his employment hours.
Over 1 year period, Christian stole a total loss of $17,628. Now, Christensen turned himself in to the Lincoln Police this morning and is now being held at the Lancaster County Jail. Your polling place may be changing. 5 Lincoln precincts are relocating to the primary and general elections. Now, before you go cast your vote, take a look at where they're moving to. Belmont Baptist Church is moving to St. Luke's. Voters at the St. Peter's Catholic Church will now need to go to Old Cheney Alliance Church. Continental Western Group is moving to Zion Church, and only temporary Reindeer Lutheran Family Center is moving to Lincoln Lancaster Health Department. Now that's it with your news tonight. For my segment, let's throw back to the desk.
Thanks, Kelsey. I talked earlier with former Nebraska basketball head coach Doc Sadler. I'll have my conversation with him and more after the break.
But for now, let's go to Tanner Westerholt with the numbers game.
At this point in the season last year, Nebraska baseball was 15-13 and out of the NCAA tournament. This year, Nebraska has dominated with a 23-7 record. So what is the cause for the improvement? One factor is a huge increase in attendance at Nebraska baseball home games. In only 15 home games this year, Nebraska has brought in almost 59,000 fans, which ranks 10th in the country. Last year, Nebraska brought in almost 53,000 for the entire season. Nebraska leads the Big Ten Conference in attendance. Indiana is second and ranked 29th nationally. The best baseball conference in the NCAA is the SEC Conference. That dominance carries over to attendance numbers too, as each of the top 5 teams in attendance are from the SEC.
Welcome back to Star City News and into Where Are They Now? Earlier, I talked with former head Husker basketball coach Doc Sadler about what he's done since his time in Lincoln after being fired from Nebraska in 2012. Sadler was director of basketball operations at Kansas before going to Iowa State as an assistant coach. Then he got the itch to return to head coaching.
I think any time that maybe your last situation didn't end the way you would have liked for it to, you had the dream or the fire to get back in as a head coach, and that's when I made the decision to go to Southern Miss.
Sadler's Southern Miss team finished 9-20 this year, but the big story surrounding the Golden Eagles was the sanctions slapped on them by the NCAA from violations before Sadler's time. This made Sadler's season a rough one, but he likes to focus on the positives you can learn from the sport.
Maybe this situation that they went through this year is going to prepare them for things that are much more important in a basketball game, and that's, the cliche, the game of life.
If anyone's good for a difficult basketball situation, it's Sadler. He's coached under some of the all-time great coaching legends like Eddie Sutton, Bill Self, and emerging star Fred Hoiberg. Sadler says all those coaches have something that sets them apart from the rest.
More than anything else, just be true to yourself. When things are good, don't get confused and think it's about you. And then when things are bad, then don't beat yourself up too bad.
Sadler still follows the Nebraska program some and is especially happy to see some of his former recruits succeeding.
Again, I'm always happy to see that Siobhan and Benny and David and those guys that I helped recruit, brought them into the program, and it's always good to see that they're doing good.
Devin, it was great talking with Doc. He's one of those coaches it was easy to cheer for. It just didn't work out for him here.
Yeah, he deserves a little bit of the credit, for a team that is there now, because guys like Benny and Siobhan have had so much success.
Yeah, it's good to recognize him because I don't know how many hard feelings there are between Doc and Nebraska. His son even goes to school here.
Yeah, his teams were always fun to watch, but with basketball ending and some exciting baseball coming up, here's Amsley and the Roundtable crew to discuss opening day.
Welcome back to the Roundtable. The Major League Baseball season starts Sunday, and from the looks of it, the field is pretty much wide open. I'm a Stros fan myself, and looking at this lineup and having Jose Altuve back, Houston may not have any problems this year. Pretty excited about it. But John, what are a couple teams that you're looking forward to watching?
Well, first of all, Ainsley, I'm not so sure about those Astros. You're getting a little ahead of yourself now, aren't you?
I really don't think so. I think that the AL West, in that division, they're going to end up top 3.
Okay. All right. Well, that AL West division, there's some decent teams in there, and the team that I have been winning the entire American League is the Seattle Mariners. This is a team that was one game away from the playoffs last year. What did they do? They added the top home run hitter in baseball, Nelson Cruz. They still have one of the best right-handed pitchers in Felix Hernandez. He was Cy Young caliber last year. And then later on in the rotation, they have one of the hottest prospects in baseball in Taijuan Walker. He was one of the best players in all of spring training. So I think the Mariners definitely looking good. On the other side of things, for the National League, Los Angeles Dodgers. This is a team with one of the best pitchers in entire baseball, maybe the best pitcher in Clayton Kershaw, Zach Greinke, and Ryu, 2 and 3. This is arguably the best 1, 2, 3 pitching staffs in baseball. And then you have the fact Yasiel Puig batting third for them. He can bat leadoff as well. So many different things he can do for the Dodgers. I think we'll see a Dodgers-Mariners World Series.
All right, so Mariners, Dodgers, but Dustin, we cannot take out the Nationals. I mean, looking at their roster, seeing them on paper, they look exceptional. So do you think that they can meet expectations?
I do. They have some pretty high expectations, but with this starting pitching staff that they have, these 5 guys, and bringing over Max Scherzer, it's going to be a pretty, they're saying maybe historic lineup, and highest ERA of all those guys is 3.58, and you have Strasburg, Zimmerman, Pfister, and Gonzalez. They're going to be a pretty good team.
All right, good stuff again from the Roundtable. Thanks, guys, and we will be back later in the show to talk about a Husker baseball team that is playing just as well as those early 2000 teams. Now back to Devin and Michael.
Thanks, Amsley. Omaha hockey fans have something to cheer for this spring as the UNO Mavericks are making a historic run in the NCAA tournament. UNO won its first 2 games of the tournament, putting them in the Frozen Four for the first time in school history. The Mavericks play Providence next Thursday for a chance to make it to the championship game.
And as the weather heats up outside, so does the action on the ice. The NHL is entering the last 2 weeks of the season with playoffs right around the corner. In the Eastern Conference, Montreal, Tampa Bay, and New York Rangers have locked up spots in the playoffs. Over in the Wild West, Nashville and Anaheim are in, with plenty of teams to fight for their season. The top 3 teams from each division and top 2 wildcard teams will start their quest for the Stanley Cup Finals on Wednesday, April 15th. With it being hockey season, football season is right around the corner, and fans are excited for the Nebraska spring game. Let's send it to Tanner Westerholt for more.
The spring game is a week from Saturday, and the Nebraska faithful are trying to fill Memorial Stadium for another successful spring game. Since 2011, Nebraska has averaged 63,000 fans for spring games and has been in the top 5 in spring game attendance. Nebraska is behind both Alabama and Auburn since 2011 and is just above Tennessee. Don't be surprised if Nebraska brings in over 70,000 fans to attend Mike Riley's Nebraska coaching debut.
Thanks, Tanner. I plan to be one of those in attendance for that game, Devin.
Yeah, it's one of the best atmospheres in college football, and there's no spring game like it.
Yeah, I really like going to this one. It's not extremely popular, but I enjoy it. Now we're going to go live to Rachel Hofstra in the newsroom with an update.
I'm Rachel Hofstra with your national news today. Iran and European nations have finally reached an agreement on Iran's nuclear program. President Barack Obama says that this new agreement eliminated their nuclear materials and inspections are in place. After many months, they have achieved the framework which will cut off every pathway that Iran could take to develop a nuclear weapon. The agreement will be finalized on June 30th. And now moving to Kenya, authorities have killed the 4 who held hostages and murdered university students. A reported 147 people were killed in the attack, and the disaster agency said as many as 79 people were injured, and more than 500 have been rescued. Police have currently declared a curfew for the next several days in the region. and in the United States, both inside and outside of Indiana, has been feeling the pressure. And because of this, they have made a new amendment to their religious freedom law. Indiana legislative leaders did this to ensure it does not discriminate against gay and lesbian customers. House Speaker Brian Bosma told reporters what was intended as a message of inclusion was interpreted as a message of exclusion. UNL professor John Gruhl elaborated on the law.
It's not whether it's discrimination. Of course it's discrimination. The law would allow people not to treat homosexuals the same as other people. So the question is the discrimination valid or invalid?
Indiana feels that they have made the adjustments needed to make the law both understandable and acceptable. That's it for your national news today. I'm Rachel Hofstra, and after break, we'll catch up with Cody Carlin and the weather.
Husker baseball and softball are already underway, and the first spring football game is just around the corner. With all this springtime fun also means severe weather season. The #1 reason for game cancellations is dangerous weather. It's not only a safety threat to the players and coaches, but to the fans as well. So make sure when you're headed out to watch your favorite Nebraska Cornhuskers that you're staying safe and keeping your eye on the sky. For Star City Weather, I'm Emily Lockemere. After the break, Cody Carlin will have your full weather forecast.
And now, a look at the forecast with Star City Weather.
For your Star City weather forecast, I am Cody Carlin. Taking a look outside at our current conditions, 65 degrees. It is cloudy. Those winds are out of the north at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Taking a look at our almanac, our high today, 67. Our low this morning was 48. Our average high for this time of year is 58 degrees. We did see some rain last night. The western half of the state did not see as much rain as we saw to the eastern half. 0.66 inches of rain we saw in Lincoln last night. Omaha got 1.1 inches, and up in Columbus we saw 23 hundredths of an inch. If we take a look at our current weather or current temperatures across the state, it is a lot cooler off to our west. 40 in North Platte. Broken Bow is at 58, McCook at 57. The warmer half of the state is the eastern part. 61 degrees in Columbus. Lincoln is at 65, Hebron 62, and Omaha is at 65. Taking a look now at our hourly forecast for tonight, it'll be warm for our evening, 65 tonight at 6 p.m., 9 p.m., 54, 47 at midnight, and cooling down to 41 just before sunrise tomorrow. If we now look at our tonight, 40 degrees will be our low, 40% chance of rain. Winds will start to gust up to 30 miles an hour, and that will continue through tomorrow. It'll be a breezy day, cloudy, 56. 30 mile an hour winds, north-northwest sustained winds at 10 to 20. If we take a look at noon, 49 degrees, 3 p.m., 55, and also 55 at 6 p.m. The week ahead now, it looks to be a great weekend. 56 for tomorrow. Saturday, 69. It will be breezy. Your Easter Sunday looks to be fantastic. 69 and sunny. Taking a look now at the later half into the early half of next week, rather, and a chance for showers again on Wednesday, but it looks like it'll be a great week. Back to you, Devin and Michael.
Thanks, Cody. Now here's Kelsey Murphy live in the newsroom with a news update.
With only 33 days left in the Nebraska legislative session, some senators say they feel that they're running out of time. 66 priority bills still need to be heard. The problem is filibusters. Just today, Senator Ernie Chambers prolonged a prairie dog bill with the song. Now, in order to reach these 66 priority bills, they need to hear 6 a day. Huddle just received the largest investment in Nebraska history. The sports editing and video company received $72.5 million. The investors include ACEL, Nelnet, and Nebraska native Jeff Rakes. The funding will offer them new tools and allow them to enhance their editing projects. CEO of Huddle, David Graff, said this will help pay every athlete and their coach through better technology. The Nebraska State Fair lineup is out, and one name is topping the charts. Keith Urban will be headlining the stage, but was part of his Get 'Em Out tour on August 29th. Tickets go on sale now.
Thanks, Kelsey. It's been an exciting few weeks of Husker baseball, and I'm excited to see some more.
Yeah, when we come back, we'll go to the roundtable to see if the Huskers can continue their winning ways.
Welcome back to Star City Sports. We're here for the final segment of the roundtable. With me again is John Kipper and Dustin Hoffman. The Nebraska baseball team is on fire. The surprise to me is how well the bullpen is performing. Dustin, who has stood out to you on the mound?
To me, it has to be Burkhamper, the only not for sure starter that Nebraska's had in starting the Sunday game, and he has an ERA of 2.87. He's 4-1 in 6 starts, so he's been pretty impressive. And along with Kubat, who's undefeated in 1.33 ERA, and that's just really good right now, especially for this Husker team.
No kidding, but we can't forget the bats on the other side. You talk about Ben Miller and Blake Headley. It's so impressive. But are you scared at all that might go away for conference play?
Well, one player he didn't mention Amsley is Ryan Bolt. Bolt has absolutely killed for Nebraska this season. He's batting .339. He's stolen 5 bases. He's also played an excellent center field for Nebraska. One of the best defenders in all of college baseball. Pretty good rotation as well. They can go 4 deep in their starting rotation, Nebraska can. They also got a very, very good bullpen. 4 guys with ERAs around 1. You can bring someone in the 7th inning, the 8th inning, and the 9th inning. Just so hard to beat this Nebraska team. I think they're just going to rake through the Big Ten, quite frankly.
I know, Keen. It's going to be so much fun to watch. And 23 wins on the season. Looks like it's going to be a great team. Now let's go back to Devin and Michael.
Thanks, guys, and I hope Nebraska, hopefully makes it back to Omaha and gets into the College World Series.
Yeah, it's been fun following the team. I haven't been able to watch or listen to the last few games, so I've followed it on social media, and there's more social media news today. Here's Ingrid Holmquist with your social media outlook.
Thanks, Devin and Michael. I'm Ingrid Holmquist with your social media news for the day. Thanks to shows like Jimmy Kimmel Live, celebrities reading mean tweets written about themselves bombard social media these days. Even SportsCenter is following suit and joining the trend. SportsCenter anchor Robert Flores jokes about one tweet from Randy Gonzalez saying, "Since when is it okay for SportsCenter anchors to wear plaid shirts and no tie?" At Roflo, ESPN looked like he was dressed for a nervous first date tonight. Flores said that one wasn't that bad. But the one from Lonnie Baseball may take the cake. Lonnie said, at Flow ESPN, "Stop commenting on political issues and state laws. Quit being so smug, you ESPN anchor nothing." He giggled at that one. It's not uncommon for football players to get in little tiffs during practice. Someone does something another player doesn't like, a couple shoves are thrown around, it happens. But Nebraska coach Mike Riley is particularly strict about stopping these end-of-play quarrels. So much so that the entire Nebraska football team decided to play a little April Fool's prank on Coach Riley by staging a team-wide fake brawl yesterday. Joke's on you, Coach Riley. ESPN is now out of its angsty teens as the media source turned 20 years old this year. To commemorate 20 great years, they highlighted some of their top moments since 1995. The 2 decades of moments include, at number 4, Brandi Chastain's shootout goal that won the Women's World Cup in 1999. Number 3, Michael Phelps taking 8 gold medals home from the Beijing Olympics. And at number 2, Cal Ripken breaking the Lou Gehrig consecutive game streak in 1995. If you want to see number 1 and number 20 to 5, check out our Twitter page at StarCity15. This has been Ingrid Holmquist with your sports social media for the day. Follow us on social media sites to keep up to date on the latest sports news. Back to you, Devin and Michael.
That's all we have for Star City Sports tonight. Good night.